Okay, we're going to start reviewing for your final, and here's what's going to be on it. First thing is just solving these equations that we've been solving on in the past months. The second power means there's two answers. So to find two answers, we need to make sure we have our zero, which we do in that problem. Then I see if I have a greatest common factor. And then I see if I have a difference of perfect squares. Okay, so the greatest common factor, I don't have a negative in front. I do have x on everything, so I got to take x out of that equation. And then 3 and 12, well, factors of 3, we got 1 and 3, and then 2 is a decimal. Now, I know I can divide both of these by 3 and not get a decimal. So 3x is going to pop out of here, and then we divide by 3x, and that gives me 1x minus 4. Now, this is close to being a difference of perfect squares, but it is not for the very reason that we have no second power, okay? So we cross that out, and then to get my two answers, I know that either 3x could equal 0 or 1x minus 4 could equal 0. So I divide by 3, and x equals 0 for my first answer. And then I plus 4, 1x equals 4. That's my second. Okay, next answer, I see that my x is to the second power, so anytime that happens, there's going to be two solutions to the equation. And of course, to find those, this one has three terms, 1, 2, 3, so I want to go with my GCF, and then we're going to see if my T-chart works. So GCF, do we have a negative in front? We do not. Do we have X on everything? We don't. And then 1's my smallest, so there's no GCF for me to pull out. So I take positive 1 times positive 18. That's positive 18 because A times C. Now it's positive, so the product's positive, so I'm looking for a sum that needs to equal 9. So 1 and 18, but that's not 9. 18 divided by 2 is 9, but that also isn't 9. 18 divided by 3 is 6, and that is 9. Okay, and my A equals 1, so then I'm good. I just need two parentheses. XX, 3, 6, and we got minus 9, so minus 6, and sum would mean they're both minus. So there was no GCF, so I don't need to worry about that. So either x minus 3 could equal 0, or x minus 6 could equal 0. So I plus 3, I get 3, plus 6, I get 6. Okay, my next problem, 5x to the second minus 8x minus 4. So again, there's two answers. So second power, and there's 1, 2, 3 terms. So GCF. And then I see if my T-chart works. So GCF, negative in front, nope. X on everything, nope. And then 4, 1, 4, 2, 2. Not going to work, okay? Because 5 divided by 4 not going to work. Let's see if 2 works. 5 divided by 2 right away doesn't work, so I know the 2's will not work. And that leaves me with 1, so no. Okay, so 5 times negative 4, I take A times C, and that's 5 multiplied by negative 4. That gives me negative 20. So I got a negative this time, so then now I'm looking for a difference that needs to equal 8. So 1 and 20, 20 minus 1's not 8. 20 divided by 2 is 10, and there's my 8 right there, okay? And A equals 5 this time, so since A is not a 1, 5 and not 1, I'm going to need to go to 4 parentheses here. So my 5 is my A, so I lead off with my 5. And then I go X, X, and then I use 2 and 10. Okay, so I have minus 8 right there, so I'm going to have minus 10 for sure, and it's different, so the signs have to be opposite. They have to be different, so plus. Okay, so here my smallest one's 2, and then here my smallest is 5. So factors of 5, 1 and 2, and that's it. And then factors of 5 is just 1 and 5. That's it. So can I divide 5 by 2? I cannot. So that leaves me with just 1. So 5x plus 2 remains the same. That's going to be one of my final factors. And then 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I should divide this by 5, and that's going to be 1x minus 2. Okay. There was no GCF, so I just put equals 0, and now it is time to solve. So 5x plus 2 could equal 0, or 1x minus 2 could equal 0. So I minus 2, 5x equals negative 2. Divide by 5. So negative 2 divided by 5 is negative 0.4. Plus 2, 1x equals 2. Okay, next problem. Again, there's 2 answers. We have a second power, but we need our 0. Okay, so I need, whenever, at this point in the class, whenever there's more than one answer, we want to get it 0 so we can factor. So that 25 is positive, so I'm minus 25, and then that would go under the 2. So that's going to be 3x squared, and negative 2 minus 25 is negative 27, equals 0. Now there's 2 terms, so now I'm back to looking for a GCF, and then I'm going to see if we have a difference of perfect squares. So GCF, negative in front, nope. Do I have x on everything? No. 3 is my smallest, so 3, 1, and 3. Okay, let's see if we can divide. So 3. Okay, 3 is going to work, so 3, but I wouldn't put x with it because 27 doesn't have x, so it's just 3. So that's going to stay 1x to the second minus 9. Okay, now is this a difference of perfect squares? It is, because I have 3 times 3, and I have 1 times 1, x times x, so 1x times 1x, okay? So 1x, 1x, and 3, and 3. Now, we had a GCF here of 3, but since that did not have an x, if there's no x, we can just get rid of it. So 1x plus 3 can equal 0. 1x minus 3 can equal 0. Minus 3, I get negative 3 for my first answer. Plus 3, I get positive 3 for my second. Okay, and then that one's crossed off. Now, number 10, there's just one answer. Okay, only one answer. So when there's one answer, I just need to worry about getting my x's on one side. So minus 2x and minus 2x. So that's going to be 1x minus 2 equals 8. Now I plus 2, 1x equals 10. Okay, my next problem has 3 answers because we're to the third power, so 3 answers. Okay, but there's 4 terms, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to set up a big box for grouping. So I will be taking parentheses plus parentheses, line parentheses plus line parentheses, and then line parentheses. Then I need to see if I have a difference of perfect squares. Okay, so I'm going to put 1x to the third minus 5x to the second, and then negative 9x plus 45. Now, do I have a negative? No. Do I have x? Yep, and I have x second, so I need to put x second down underneath. And then 1 and 5 I can't really do because 1's my smallest. Now over here we do have a negative in front, and 9 and 40, no x on that. So 9, 1, 9, 2's a decimal, 3 and 3. Remember, if you don't know the factors, just divide in order. So 9 divided by 9 is 1, 45 divided by 9 is 5, so 9 is going to work out very well here. So x seconds out and negative 9's out. So that's 1, that's x minus 5, because those cancel. And that's 1x minus 5. So I have 1x minus 5, 1x minus 5. That's going to come out here. And I have x second and negative 9. So x is second minus 9. Now this is not a dots, but this one is, because I got 3 times 3, and I've got x times x. So I'm going to circle that. X plus 3, x minus 3. Now the 1x minus 5 drops down. And now I'm ready to solve my equation. So 1x minus 5 can equal 0. X plus 3 can equal 0. X minus 3 can equal 0. So I plus 5, 1x equals 5. There's your first answer. Minus 3, I get negative 3 for my second. Plus 3, I get positive 3 for my third and final. Okay, now unfortunately you are going to have some story problems. We're going to do this one first because it's the hardest. A picture is 7 by 8 inches. I'm going to put a border around the outside. When I do, the combined area is going to be 110 square inches. How wide should my border be? So we're talking about a shape here. So my shape and a border on the outside. So the shape is 8 by 7. So I measure my length, and I know I have 8, and then x and x. I measure my width, I know I have 7, and that's x, and that's x. Okay? Now, with the shape, we got to write out the formula. So, the formula is length times width equals area. So the length is going to be 2x plus 8, and the width is going to be 2x plus 7, and I know the area is 110. Okay, so I can multiply this out. So 2x times 2x, 2x times 7, 8 times 2x, and 8 times 7. So that's going to be 4, and then x to the second. That's going to be 14x, 16x, and 56. So I add those two, and that's 30x. So I have 4x to the second plus 30x plus 56 equals 110. So there's two answers, but I have to get my 0. I don't have 0. So minus 110, and then I can subtract 110 from 56. So now I have 4x squared plus 30x. 56 minus 110 is negative 54. So minus 54 equals 0. Now there's 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. So GCF and then I'm going to see what happens with my T chart. So GCF, negative in front, no, I don't have X on everything. Now check out 4, so 1 and 4, 2 and 2. Okay, now let's see if we can divide by 4. Nope. Let's try 2. Yep, 2 is going to work, but just 2. So 2's out. And then we have 2x to the second plus 15x minus 27. Okay, so I ABC that as we know, and that's negative 54, difference of 15. Okay, so 1 and 54. 54 minus 1 is not 15. 2 and 27, not 15. 3 and 18, there we go, that's 15. So A equals 2, so I'm going to need 4 parentheses. So I lead off with 2, then x second becomes x and x, and then 3 and 18. So I have plus right there, plus right here. So you got to have plus 18 for sure, and difference would be minus. Okay, so 2 is my smallest, so I have 1 and 2. So can I divide 3 by 2? I can't, so that's going to stay the same. 2 and 18, so 2, 1 and 2. Can I divide 18 by 2? Yes, I can, so divide by 2. So x plus 9, 1x. Okay, now I did have a GCF of 2, but there is no x on that, so get rid of it. So 2x minus 3 could equal 0, or 1x plus 9 could equal 0. Plus 3, 2x equals 3. Divide by 2. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Minus 9, 1x equals negative 9. And there we have it. Okay, 1.5 is actually the solution, but I would like to see both of them there. Okay, now I need to write a formula before we talk about the next one. So gravity, and that's always represented by negative 16, okay? And time to the second time is going to be x plus velocity, that's going to be time, and that's x, equals height, and height is y. Okay, so write that down. So it says a paper airplane is launched off the balcony from a height of 20 feet with a velocity of 76 feet per second. How many seconds will it land on the ground? So we have feet and we have seconds. So x is our seconds and y is our feet. So per feet per second, and that is equal to 76 feet per second. Okay, so what happens with the airplane? It goes up and comes down. So I want to find out when it's on the ground. So 0 feet. So my equation is negative 16 x to the second plus our velocity is right here, okay, 76 x plus, we have to put plus 20 because at 20 right there. So plus 20 equals y, but 0 feet comes in for y, okay? So there are 2 answers to this, and there's 3 terms. So I'm going to look for a GCF, and then I will be using my T chart. So GCF, we have the negative. Okay, we don't have x on everything, so now let's talk about 16 possibly. So 1/16, 2 and 8, 3 is a decimal, and then 4 and 4. Okay, so let's see if 76 divides by 16. No, it does not. Now let's try 8. 76 by 8. No, it does not. I know the 16 divides by all this stuff. Okay, so 76 divided by 4 and 20 divided by 4. That's going to work, okay? So 4 is the one to use in my GCF, so -4. So -4 is out. Now I divide all these by -4. And that's going to give me positive 4x to the second minus 19x minus 5. A, B, C. So A times C, we're going to take 4 times -5, and that's -20. Looking for a difference, that equals 19. So that's going to be 1 and 20 right there. You have it. 20 minus 1 is 19. A equals 4. So again, we need 4 parentheses. So I lead off with 4. So x, 1 and 20. So I have minus 19, so minus 20, and difference would be plus. Here my largest factor is 1, so I'm just going to drop that down. No need to worry about that. Now 4 and 20, let's look at 4. 1, 4, 2, and 2. Let's see if we can divide by 4. 4 by 4 is 1. 20 by 4 is 5. 4 is the one I should divide by. And now that becomes 1x minus 5. We had a GCF of -4, but since there's no x on that, cross it off. Now I can get my two answers. So 4x plus 1 can equal 0, or 1x minus 5 can equal 0. So minus 1, 4x equals -1. And then I take -1 divided by 4, it's -0.25. And then I plus 5, 1x equals 5. Okay, next one's another gravity problem, but this won't take as long. It says a startled armadillo jumps straight into the air with an initial vertical velocity of 14 feet per second. How many seconds does it land on the ground? So I have feet and seconds. So x is seconds and y is feet. So per feet per second. The feet per second is 14. And he goes up, comes on the ground, 0 feet. So gravity, -16x to the second, plus 14x. Now there's no other number there, so I just put equals y. I don't need to add another number. So 0 feet. And now I can find my two solutions because there are only two terms though, so GCF, and then see if we have a difference of perfect squares, because there's 1, 2. So GCF, we do have a negative here, and we do have x on everything now because there's no third number, so x. So 16 and 14, so 14, 1, 14, 2 and 7, and that's it, okay? Can I divide them by 14? Let's see. Nope. Can I divide them by 7? Let's see. Nope. How about 2? 2. Yup. And yep. So -2x, and that got to come out here then. So that's positive 8, and x squared divided by x is x, and that's negative 7, and then that's out. Now that's not a difference of perfect squares because 7's not a perfect square, so nope. So now I can, that's factored, I can get my two answers. Negative 2x equals 0, 8x minus 7 equals 0. Divide by negative 2, x is 0. Plus 7, 8x equals 7. Divided by 8. 7 divided by 8 is 0.875. Okay, that's what I have to say on that. I hope it has been informative. And if you, of course, you're going to be working on more of these, I'm going to have another video coming at you.